strange world of peace and Toodles.
Well, if it isn't our fellow strangers again.
Here we are, reacquainted in the strange world of strange phenomena and strange conversations to be had, strange acquaintances to be made, relationships.
Mm-hmm. Strange things to be discussed.
It's a world full of strangeness.
Strange things to be learned.
Normal strangeness, high strangeness, weird strangeness.
Personal strangeness.
Indeed. Indubitably.
So today, we will be discussing strange creatures of the biblical sort.
Of the biblical sort.
Yes, sir. We're going to be reading some apocryphal literature from the Apocrypha. Bel and the Dragon.
I'm going to go to the canon and go to some places like maybe Genesis for some Nephilim and Job and Psalms for Leviathan and Behemoth gets a couple references in Psalms. It's going to be a good time. We got some
Seraphim, too.
Seraphim. Angels, right?
Correct.
Some strangely described angels.
This is the updates, reflections, and ponderings of Peace and Toodles.
That's a good timing, I guess.
I don't know about you, Toodles, but I'm starting to ponder.
Just now, I feel like I've been pondering.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm in a constant state of pondering.
It's got nothing to do with little bodies of water that you keep in your yard. Ponds.
Each thought bubble is a pond in of itself.
Are you the big fish in your pond? Or the little fish?
I am the pond.
Ooh.
And the fish. I am both the dreamer, the dreamscape, and he who experiences the dream.
That's the same as the dreamer.
I am not a man drowning in the sea. I am both the man and the sea.
Because we're all connected.
Yes. Your mind,
universe is one. Well, that collective consciousness they like to talk about these days.
Well, and everything you dream, that's all you. You're putting on a show for yourself.
Are you sure that's all you, or are you strangely inspired by some kind of supernatural connection that you can only achieve in that dream state?
I'm open to that possibility, but as far as we know, it's all happening within the confines of your noggin.
I think I've traveled places in my dreams. They're real.
I'm not opposed to that idea. Certainly not.
Y'all strangers out there think I'm off my rocker? Let us know.
I have a feeling we have a lot of folks that agree with
astral projection or perhaps traveling in the spirit. Both are topics that we should actually do episodes on.
What's that?
Things like traveling in the spirit. Astral projection or, remote viewing, that kind of thing.
Certainly.
Go to the CIA themselves and start asking. Like, hey, what was up with this project, this Montauk thing?
I know. So I mentioned Lex in a previous episode, a friend of ours, mine and Darla's. I believe she's done astral projections before.
Is it dangerous? So I've heard some stories about some people that do astral projection. They project themselves astrally. They'll have a little silver cord attached to them in their belly button or tied around the wrist or something.
Interesting.
And they say that this little silver cord sometimes looks like a fishing line. Sometimes it's like a little line of energy or light. Other times it's just like a string.
To keep them grounded back here or something?
It goes all the way back to their body while they're traveling around.
Makes me think of
the theory is that if the cord is ever cut, they'll permanently be disconnected from their body and they're either in like a coma or dead.
Makes me think of the high priest in the Old Testament when he would go into the Holy of Holies.
I know.
And he had a rope tied around him.
It's in one of the prophetical books, isn't it?
It would be in Leviticus,
something that says
likely.
To do something before severing like the silver cord. I think where is that?
Oh yeah, that's in Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes.
Yes, sir. I believe the last chapter of Ecclesiastes.
What's the context for that?
Let's pull it up. You got a Bible there right behind you. Staring at it with my hairy eyeball right now.
Without ever looking up how to spell Ecclesiastes, go try to spell it and see if you do it right. Bet you won't.
I wouldn't.
Ecclesiastes.
In previous episodes, I've called it Ecclesiastics, I believe. One of the non-high moments of peace. It's okay.
I must have missed it somewhere.
It is after Proverbs.
Yeah,
after Psalms.
Freaking.
Psalms will be towards the middle of your
I know. I went
Bible,
straight from there to
likely.
Song of Solomon. I got to get between them. I got it. All right.
There you go. That boy.
I know my Bible sometimes. I'm on.
That a fella. That a gent.
Hello, somebody.
Who you impersonating?
Shout out to Pastor Don, way back in the OG days.
Mm-hmm.
Our first guest, wasn't he?
Episode 10, I believe. Yeah, he was our first guest.
I don't think he ever used that phrase, though, unfortunately. His
Hello,
catchphrase. Yeah.
Yeah, he used that on our podcast.
He did?
Yeah. I always wondered how, like, we're both familiar with pastors saying stuff like that, but I wonder how that translates to somebody who's, like, been secular, grown up secular. I wonder if such a person listens to our podcast.
I heard this old
atheists.
rap album from the 90s. I think it was like Outkast or Dre or somebody that... I don't know if that's where this phrase got popularized, where they're like, you better ask somebody. Sometimes I wonder, he's old enough, he wouldn't, you know? He would have been a spry young 20-year-old in those days when that came out. He probably listened to it.
I could ask somebody where that came from.
What, one of his homies? I don't see this thing about silver cord.
It's like at the very end of Ecclesiastes. It's like talking about do this, do that before you're passing.
Remember your creator before the silver cord is loosed, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the well. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it.
What are the words he uses after silver cord?
What I just said.
Silver cord. Then what?
Remember your creator before the silver cord is loosed, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the well.
Interesting. I'm trying to see if there's any pattern connecting the two, or the four things.
So if the silver cord is loosed, it's saying to remember your creator. So it obviously would be, I would think it's insinuating it's talking about death. Like you need to get right with God before you die. Obviously.
Some Old Testament authors, like in Psalms, said, when you're dead, no one remembers you. It even said God doesn't remember you. So it's like that silver cord is like your connection to God almost. Maybe. Perhaps. Possibly. Probably not.
But it sounds like, Mr. Trump, that this here is an inevitable thing for everybody.
Yes.
It's not like try to prevent it from being loosed. It's like, no, remember God before it is. Who knows
so that you can
what
live
this means?
Meaningfully almost. Because just Ecclesiastes, just like the Epic of Gilgamesh, the big takeaway from both of them, they're almost saying the same thing, but in different literary formats. Basically, enjoy your life, live a meaningful life here and now. Appreciate it, savor it, because you're going to die, because you're human, and that is the lot that was cast for humanity, to die, to live and to die. Gilgamesh had to go travel land and sea to discover that.
You gotta do what you can while you're still able.
Yes, sir.
As they say. As no one said until now. So yeah, ponderings and updates, you know? How's your arm doing?
It's doing a lot better. I've been hitting the weights again. 5-pound limit, but every time I go to the gym, I'm training upper body with those 5 pounds for like an hour.
Nice.
So, little by little, seeing the mass come back, seeing the size come back.
Did you go to the gym today?
I did.
You're not wearing your short shorts.
Yeah. I walk.
You had too many guys hitting on you.
Since my injury, I've been doing more cardio, and I get real sweaty, and I don't care to wear those clothes all day.
I see. It's like 50 degrees out, though. Like, get nice and cooled off as soon as you go outside. Let's talk about it.
I don't... Wow, you're really quoting Pastor Don a lot today.
I like Pastor Don. I listen to some of his stuff, and
He's
it's
right.
I like him. I respect him.
I see him at the gym at least 3 days a week.
Well, tell him I'm thinking about him. I hope all is well.
I will. I'll be like, Jonathan's thinking about you.
Exactly. You got to say it exactly like that. With the head nod and the wink and all.
I will.
Tap him on his butt. Hey man.
No, I won't do that. So.
Even Nate Visen says hi.
I'll say that before Jonathan. I'll say Nate Visen. And then I'll say Jonathan also says hi.
He doesn't know he doesn't know Nate Visen.
He should.
Speaking of Nate Visen, there's a song that has been submitted for distribution. And the prospective release date on anywhere you listen to music is Halloween of 2025.
There's a good possibility this will be after that. I did want this to be released in October because, I wanted to kind of in October emphasize on things slightly, moderately spooky, moderately dark.
Ooh, maybe
we talked about the devil.
Tag a clip on it, maybe, or tag a clip of it on this episode.
We're having that Aleister Crowley episode with somebody that we indeed have found to interview about.
Psyched. I'm excited for that one.
Yes, very much so. That will either be before or after this, because in the strange world,
Aleister Crowley.
Nothing is ever in order.
Dude, I was listening to an episode of the Higher Side Chats, THC. Shout out to the best conspiracy podcast in the world.
Side Chats.
Greg Carlwood. Love that show. It's exciting.
We're going to interview him one day. He doesn't know it yet, but...
And neither do we, but we will.
I do. I know.
We will.
We will interview him.
Greg Carlwood. It is such an experience to go listen to those early episodes.
Yes.
And hear you talking about this job that you have, this corporate job that you don't like. You want to get out of it. You got to get out of this job because it's not what humans are meant to do. And through the podcast, through a steady number of just knockout guests, putting out the t-shirts, making the website, doing all this stuff. I remember that episode when he's like, you listeners have done it. I've officially quit my job because this is enough to fulfill me and keep me supported full time.
Good for him.
And he's still doing it. And he says he wants to be doing it until he's old.
Hell yeah.
That's the roadmap. That's where we got to get to.
That's right. And we will get there someday. I believe that, and I am determined to make that happen.
So speaking of THC, I heard a guest from back in 2018 or 17, one of those older episodes, and there's a guy that was an expert on Aleister Crowley. This dude had traveled around doing his research about this guy, finding handwritten stuff that only he has access to. I gotta find who that guy was because I forgot. Who we need to see if we can get him on.
Hell yeah.
That would be epic.
Hell yeah. The lady that we either have or will interview about Aleister Crowley, she's in a lot of ways a witch.
Not for the intent of poaching somebody's guest, but for the intent of I'm really freaking interested in Aleister Crowley.
Part of this ladder we're
finding out about him.
We're going to interview everybody.
What better place to who better to interview than a guy that's dedicated years and years to studying exactly that guy?
Well, speaking of people that we found on the internet, that have a presence on the internet, I'm proud to announce mid-November, probably after this episode's been released, we are doing an episode with Brittany from No Nonsense Spirituality on YouTube.
Not the same Brittany from Modern Day Witch.
No. Much more popular. She just recently, you know the guy that played Dwight Schrute from The Office?
No.
He's an actor. He has a podcast called, his name is Rainn Wilson. He has a podcast called Soul Boom.
Interesting.
He interviews people from a variety of life philosophies and spiritualities. Much of the conversations focus around spirituality. Well, she's a popular internet presence that Jonathan has not yet heard of, but she is she's going to be one of our very first very popular guests, aside from Sunny.
Well, cool.
Hell yeah.
I like a guest that's nice and well-spoken. Makes me seem like I can't
We're gonna
talk to
talk.
save my life, which I usually can't. I stutter and think too long, but, I like listening to eloquent people.
We're going to discuss.
Those are the best podcasts.
We're going to discuss this idea that historians have recognized that it appears that the God of the Old Testament, Yahweh, used to have a wife, but that idea was whitewashed from the scriptures, removed.
Bro.
But it is starting to be discovered and uncovered. And we're going to talk to her about that. We're going to talk about psychedelics. And we're going to talk about Jordan Peterson. And we're going to talk about...
I had an idea for a book of fiction to pass off as some kind of is this a historical writing?
Okay.
Making my own creation story.
Wait, you're going to just give your story away right here on the podcast so somebody
If
can
somebody
copyright
can
it?
steal it, writing
Okay.
books. I got a more important book in mind first. So
What's the
more
more important book about?
can do this,
Without saying too much. Have you told me about this more important book?
yes, I have. It's about
A Journey Somewhere.
no. Well, that's a second. Look, I got a lot of book ideas. Okay,
What's this other book that you've told me about?
the one about I can't give it away.
Just give me a couple hints that only I will.
The Art of Fine Blank was the name of it.
Okay. Describe a few scenes.
There aren't scenes. It's more like analytical and
okay.
explaining the best methods of doing certain things, what the different viscosities and, colors mean.
Okay.
It's kind of more technical about something kind of comical.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So I was going to write this, or try to write the story of the creation story.
Okay.
But it's
I always
gonna
love
be-
a good creation story.
More like God and Satan are exes. They're ex-lovers.
Oh, well.
And they're trying to win the hearts of humans.
Are they?
'Cause it's some kind of competition.
Are they gay lovers? Are they
No.
heterosexual lovers?
No.
Is Satan a woman then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't care which one's which. I don't know, because there's a whole thing in the Garden of Eden that could be I've heard theorized that instead of tempting Eve to eat the apple, it was an act of
Sexual
seduction.
encounter. Yeah.
So maybe playing off that in the book.
Interesting.
Humans, the whole aspect of giving your life, your heart and soul to somebody would be more like a competition of love to see who can win the hearts of more people.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It's like what a narcissistic couple does when they break up,
exactly.
trying to win everybody to their side,
Yep, make the other one jealous.
make the other one jealous, get everybody to support them, because the more people they have to support them, the more they feel validated.
Yep, exactly.
Speaking of, were you done with that, or do you have more
Yeah,
to
I
say?
guess I am. Just a strange idea.
There you go. There you go. If somebody
There you
wants
go,
to,
listeners. Take that story and run.
if somebody wants to
You're welcome.
get with Jonathan and perhaps produce a romantic comedy, I think you got your guy right here.
I'll get
Send
the
it right across from
publishing
me.
covered. I'll do that part for you. You got to write it. Hit me up.
Okay. Jonathan's doing the plot and nothing else, so don't expect him to do more than that.
269-319-1017. That's the only time I'm going to say it on this podcast.
Not sure that's the best.
Hit me up. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I wouldn't give
I might
my
have to
number
change
on
my
that.
number.
So, my ponderings. So, a couple episodes back, I believe it was the devil episode, in the pondering segment, I mentioned I've been talking with my therapist about getting down to the shoulds, the core of the shoulds. Like, I'm very, very motivated by I should do this, I should do that. Mm-hmm. And something that she suggested for me to work on that is to get back into mindfulness meditation. I've meditated in the past, but meditation. Done that in the past. In the past few years, though, I used to have every day a morning routine. I'd meditate for like, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes or so. Nothing too long. And eventually, when I got busier, that got out of my routine. So she suggested I incorporate that back into my routine. So that's that thing I've been doing, trying to do every morning when I get back from the gym, when I'm sitting in my car. I turn on my meditation app. Last time it was the Waking Up app. This time it's Headspace. And
I've seen ads for both of those.
Both are good.
At least Headspace.
Good. And I meditate for about 10 minutes. I get very fidgety. The core is to focus on your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then when you notice yourself getting distracted by yourself, going back to that, like, mind, distracting itself with itself. Mm-hmm. The purpose is to get, also keep track of what type of things are distracting you. What are the instant things that are pulling you away from the breath that you're trying to focus on. And I think that's really like that's good therapy, is just analyzing something, taking it apart, getting down to the core of it, because just like, we mentioned a couple episodes ago, keep mentioning back to a couple episodes ago, but we mentioned that, like, everything, like ideas, religions, they're all snowball, right? They started one way, they've rolled through time.
And pick up little pieces and bits. And
history has tossed us snowballs.
And pick up some jots and tittles along the way.
History's thrown snowballs at us, and just like that, everything we have, our life experience is a snowball. The habits, beliefs that we've inherited from our parents are snowballs. The beliefs that they inherited are snowballs. And it's very important it's a very important part of life, I think, is to dissect those snowballs, because then you can analyze, like, when me and my wife before we were getting married, we took premarital counseling, and one of the most wise things that I heard said in premarital counseling was, he asked us, what are the good ways you're like your parents, and what are the bad ways you're like your parents? Identify the bad ways and leave it at the door of your new house, your new home you're beginning. And I think that's an important part of any young adult's journey into adulthood, is what are the good things I learned from my parents and what are the bad things I learned from my parents. So what
are some of them?
You can perpetuate the good things, and it's like breaking generational curses. Like, that's the idea across many life philosophies. Many of us want to break generational curses. The
sins of the fathers will be
you're religious, non-religious,
third generation.
We want to break generational curses. What are some of the bad things? I'm not going to go into that much detail.
That's fine. I think we should get into the girth of the episode.
What is, what are we at on time?
Like 20-something?
20-something.
Yeah. 24.
I think that is an excellent idea. So, yeah. Let's continue, strangers, to dissect the snowballs that we've been given by time, experience, and
the jots and tittles picked up along the way.
Yes. I don't know. I was just expecting him to finish my sentence.
I was waiting for you to eloquently wrap it up, put a bow on it, and send it off to receiver like you so eloquently do every time. I'm sorry.
Okay. Not this time. So today we will be discussing strange creatures of the biblical sort.
Of the biblical sort.
Yes.
Biblical is a loose term. I thought we were going to stick to the canon with the original idea, but it looks like we're going to go over some apocryphal text too. Which
one apocryphal text.
Bel.
And then some Talmudic literature as well.
Bel. Not Baal.
Bel.
Bel.
B-E-L. Short for Belshazzar.
Really?
Nope. Actually, no. Bel is the name of the god. The idol that they're worshiping at the beginning of this story. So, this story is Bel and the Dragon. It's a story about Daniel from the book of Daniel, formerly known as Daniel from Daniel in the Lion's Den. This was a chapter at the end of the book of Daniel that was originally written in Greek. So, it wasn't accepted into the canon.
Grigio.
But it's been floating around, and it's been in the Apocrypha. So we're going to read that out of our Rainbow Catholic Study Bible.
And it's not a long book either. It won't take more than a minute or two.
It will not take very
short.
long. We'll probably pause to comment a couple times, a time or two. But, all right, without further delay. So we meet Daniel from Daniel in the Lion's Den in this removed chapter from the book of Daniel.
And that fast where, who was it, Gabriel? It came to
I believe it was Gabriel.
Answer him because of his fast, and he got delayed by the Prince of Persia, some kind of spiritual war.
The angel of the Prince of Persia. Because every nation had a guardian angel.
So they say.
In the mind
of... Daniel and the priests of Bel. After the death of King Astyages, Cyrus of Persia took over his kingdom. Daniel was one of King Cyrus's closest companions, and the king thought more highly of Daniel than any other of his advisors. This does sound like Daniel, doesn't it? The Babylonians had an idol named Bel. Each day the people had to provide Bel with an offering of 12 bushels of fine flour, 40 sheep, and 50 gallons of wine. King Cyrus believed the Bel was a god, and each day he used to go and worship it. But Daniel worshipped his own god. One day the king asked Daniel, "Why don't you worship Bel?" Daniel answered, "I do not worship idols made with human hands. I worship only the living God who created heaven and earth and is the Lord of all human beings." "And don't you believe that our god Bel is really alive?" asked the king. "Haven't you seen how much he eats and drinks every day?" Daniel laughed and said, "Don't be tricked, your majesty. This god you call Bel is nothing more than clay covered with bronze. It has never eaten or drunk anything." At this, the king became angry and called in all 70 of the priests of Bel. He said to them, "I warn you that you will be put to death unless you can show me that it is Bel who is eating these offerings. If you prove to me that it is Bel, then I will have Daniel put to death for claiming that Bel is not a god." Daniel agreed to this proposal. Then they all went up with the king into Bel's temple, where the priest said to the king, "Your majesty, we'll go out and let you place the food on the table and prepare the wine. When you leave, you may lock the door behind you and seal it with the royal seal. In the morning when you return, if you find that Bel has not eaten everything, you can put us to death. But if he has, Daniel will die for making false accusations against us." But the priests were not worried because they had made a secret entrance underneath the table in the temple so they could go in every night and eat the offerings. When the priests had left, the king set out the food for Bel. Then Daniel ordered his servants to bring some ashes and scatter them all over the floor of the temple. No one except the king saw them do this. After that, they all went out, locked the door, sealed it with the royal seal, and left. That night, as usual, the priests with their wives and children came into the temple by the secret entrance and ate all the food and drank all the wine. Early the next morning...
Those sneaky snakes.
Yes, deceitful. Early the next morning, the king and Daniel went to the temple. The king asked, "Have the seals been broken, Daniel?" "No, your majesty, they have not been broken," he replied. As soon as the door was opened, the king saw the empty table and shouted, "You are great, O Bel! You really are a god!" But Daniel began to laugh and said to the king, "Before you enter the temple, look at the floor and tell me whose footprints you see there." "I see the footprints of men, women, and children," said the king. And he became so angry that he had the priests and their families arrested and brought to him. They showed him the secret doors through which they had came in each night to eat the food placed on the table. So the king had the priests put to death, and he gave Bel to Daniel, who destroyed the idol and tore down its temple. Daniel kills the dragon. There was also a huge dragon which the Babylonians worshipped. One day the king said to Daniel, "You can't tell me that this god is not alive, so worship him." "I worship the Lord," replied Daniel. "He is the only living God. And if your majesty will give me permission, I will kill this dragon of yours without using a sword or a club." "You have my permission," answered the king. So Daniel took some tar, some fat, and some hair and boiled them all together. He made cakes out of the mixture and fed them to the dragon. Oh, so this dragon's real, obviously. When the dragon ate them, it swelled up and burst open. "That's the kind of thing you Babylonians worship," said Daniel. When the people of Babylon heard what had happened, they staged an angry demonstration against the king. "The king has become a Jew," they shouted. "First he destroyed Bel and slaughtered the priests, and now he has killed our dragon." They went to the king and demanded that Daniel be handed over to them. "If you refuse," they warned the king, "we will put you and your family to death." Ooh, that's bold words to the king. When the king saw that they meant what they said, he was forced to hand Daniel over to them. They threw him into a pit of lions, where they left him for 6 days. There were 7 lions in the pit, and normally they were fed 2 human bodies and 2 sheep each day. What? But they were given nothing to eat during these 6 days in order to make sure that Daniel would be eaten. Daniel was rescued from the pit of lions. At that time, the prophet Habakkuk was in the land of Judah. He had cooked a stew and crumbled bread into it. He was carrying a bowl of it to the workers who were out in the fields harvesting grain, when an angel of the Lord spoke to him. "Take the food you are carrying and give it to Daniel, who is in Babylon, in a pit of lions." Habakkuk answered, "Sir, I have never been to Babylon, and I don't know where the pit of lions is." So the angel grabbed the prophet by the hair and took him... So the angel grabbed the prophet by the hair and took him to Babylon with the speed of the wind. He set him down near the pit of lions. Habakkuk called out, "Daniel, Daniel, God has sent you some food. Here, take it." When Daniel heard Habakkuk, he prayed, "God, did you remember me? You never abandon those who love you." Then he got up and ate the meal, and God's angel immediately took Habakkuk home. Probably by pulling him by his hair again. 7 days after Daniel had been thrown to the lions, the king went to the pit to mourn for him. When he got there and looked in, there sat Daniel. The king shouted, "O Lord, the God of Daniel, how great you are! You alone are God." So he pulled Daniel out of the pit, it doesn't say if it's by the hair or not, and had those who tried to kill Daniel thrown into it, and the lions ate them immediately while the king watched. The end.
The end.
So is this the same pit of lions story in the canon? It seems different.
I'm not sure.
Did it have that
This
detail?
said the Babylonians. It was
Yeah.
King Darius in the book of Daniel. What does it say there? What king was it?
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
It's the only king name given, and it like
Right here?
after it says Cyrus at the beginning, the whole thing just says the king, the king, the king.
What does it say at the beginning?
After the death of King Astyages, Cyrus of Persia took over his kingdom.
But then it mentions a dragon that the Babylonians worshipped.
There was also a huge dragon which the Babylonians worshipped. One day, the king said to Daniel. So
I thought it said Darius at the beginning.
no.
So if it's Cyrus,
The only king is Cyrus.
Historically, Cyrus was a monotheist. He was a Zoroastrian. Yeah. So
Because didn't Darius feel like he didn't want Daniel to be thrown in the pit?
He didn't want Darius to be thrown in the pit.
He didn't want Daniel to be thrown in the pit.
What did I say?
Darius.
Darius did not want Daniel to be thrown in the pit, yes.
But did it say that they hadn't fed him for 6 days? I feel like that's familiar sounding, but I don't remember. Is Daniel in this thing?
Yes.
Would it be called Daniel?
I think it was 3 days, I almost want to say. Or at least 2 days. How long does it say in the Bell and the Dragon? 6 days?
Yes.
A long time.
They were given nothing to eat during these 6 days, talking about the lions, in order to make sure that Daniel would be eaten. That's crazy. They fed him 2 humans and 2 sheep a day.
That's a lot. 2 humans?
Yeah.
2 humans? They must have been like, what, slaves, prisoners?
I don't know. You think it's just the
Criminals?
old people that died naturally? They're just disposing of the bodies.
No, probably not that. That would be like very, like in those cultures, that's like a bad way to die. So maybe if you're a bad person, but
No, you're not dying that way. Your body's being disposed
still,
of.
though, how your body was disposed of was important in the ancient Semitic culture. Yeah, to a lot of old cultures. You know, if your body was maimed and tattered by wild animals, that's not, at least in the Semitic culture, it's not a respectful, good way to go. That would be like Jezebel. She was eaten by wild dogs. All that was left was her hands and her head was left laying there after the dogs ate her. So like she's the archetypal person that it's like bad to get consumed by wild animals as your body. Just rather that's your death or the way your body. That's why it's such a bad thing for him to be thrown in there. You know, he's not going to get a proper burial. They're going to tear him to pieces. His grave is going to be a lion turd, basically.
But you're fertilizer now for the new life and plants that's going to grow out of your...
Ain't nothing going to grow in the lion's den.
Well, we do have 2 creatures here. We got the dragon and the lions.
The lions.
First off, I found Daniel in this Catholic Rainbow Study Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Darius appointed governors to rule, split up responsibility over his kingdom. Daniel did the job better than everyone else.
Yes.
They all became jealous. They're like, we can't accuse him of anything because he doesn't do anything worthy of being accused of.
And so said,
they're like, hey, king, make a decree that says we can't worship anything except your God. And he does
it was you, wasn't it? Him, the king. You had to worship him, the king, was it not?
Yep, give orders that for 30 days no one be permitted to request anything from any god or from any human being except from your majesty. Anyone who violates this order is to be thrown into the pit filled with lions. So Daniel went home and prayed. Some people saw him praying and went to accuse him of violating the decree. Then they go to the king. They're like, hey, remember this order you signed? And he's like, yes, it cannot be changed. And they're like, Daniel violated it. You have to throw him in the pit of lions. And it says, when the king heard this, he was upset and did his best to find some way to rescue Daniel. He kept trying until sunset. Then Daniel's enemies came back to the king and said to him, your majesty knows that according to the laws of the Medes and the Persians, no order which the king issues can be changed. So he gets thrown into the pit. And a stone was put over the mouth of the pit.
And that's a theme that we actually see in the book of Esther, too.
It doesn't say that they were starved
the
or
king's
anything.
decree not being reversible.
Okay, so it's only one night, too. A stone was put over the mouth of the pit, and the king placed his own royal seal and the seal of his noblemen on the stone so that no one could rescue Daniel. Then the king returned to the palace and spent a sleepless night without food or any form of entertainment. At dawn, the king got up and hurried to the pit. When he got there, he called out anxiously, Daniel, servant of the living God, was the God you serve so loyally able to save you from the lions? And Daniel says, he sure is, homie. I'm good. The end. Oh, and then Daniel praises God, and King Darius wrote to the people of the nations, all races and languages on earth, greetings, I command that throughout my empire, everyone should fear and respect Daniel's God. Then he goes into a little psalm-like poetic praise. He is a living God, and he will rule forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed, and his power will never come to an end. He saves He saves and rescues. He performs wonders and miracles in heaven and on earth. He saved Daniel from being killed by the lions. Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. And then it goes into his visions of the 4 beasts.
Then that's from the actual book of Daniel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That would fit into this episode, too.
Why don't you go ahead and read those, and I'll get everything fired up with the Leviathan that we'll be discussing soon.
Well, this is very short. It's like 3 paragraphs. Daniel's vision of the 4 beasts. In the first year that Belshazzar was king of Babylonia, I had a dream and saw a vision in the night. I wrote the dream down, and this is the record of what I saw that night. Winds were blowing from all directions and lashing the surface of the ocean. 4 huge beasts came up out of the ocean, each one different from the others. The first one looked like a lion, but had wings like an eagle. While I was watching, the wings were torn off. The beast was lifted up and made to stand up straight, and then a human mind was given to it. The second beast looked like a beast looked like a bear standing on his hind legs. It was holding 3 ribs between its teeth, and a voice said to it, "Go on, eat as much meat as you can." While I was watching, another beast appeared. It looked like a leopard, but on its back there were 4 wings, like the wings of a bird, and it had 4 heads. It had a look of authority about it. As I was watching, a 4th beast appeared. It was powerful, horrible, terrifying. With its huge iron teeth, it crushed its victims, and then it trampled on them. Unlike the other beasts, it had 10 horns. While I was staring at the horns, I saw a little horn coming up from among the others. It tore out 3 of the horns that were already there. This horn had human eyes and a mouth that was boasting proudly.
Antiochus Epiphanes.
Who?
Antiochus Epiphanes. He is the antagonist of the book of 1st and 2nd Maccabees. He is the Greek king that forced Hellenized many Jews and forced them to sacrifice a pig at the temple. Sacrificed many of them to eat pork and abandon the Jewish lifestyle until some brave Jewish men led a revolt, the Maccabees. They led a revolt against Antiochus Epiphanes and brought his terrible rule to a... Actually, they chased him out of Israel. They didn't kill him. And on his way back to his homeland, he got sick and died. And that was his end. I believe, according to scholars, that is who that little horny guy is that comes out of the beast's head. It's Antiochus Epiphanes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about these beasts, though? You think they're literal, or they're just meant as a symbology somehow
I do.
in a dream state?
I think they're symbolic of nations.
I agree. Same as Revelations.
Yeah. Seems to be within the context of like the style, that the person was writing in. Is prophetic, and I know that's the way the scholars at least interpret it. Who knows? Maybe one day there will be a big bear and big leopard that fight in the ocean. That'd be certainly entertaining to see. So we're speaking of monstrous creatures in the ocean. That makes me think of our next monster.
Of Job 41.
Oh, do you got that pulled up?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yes, sir, the Leviathan.
All right, go ahead and read that. And then I'm going to read some things about the Leviathan from the Talmud.
Now, this is a little longer. I mean, it's not that long. But it basically is Job saying, like, can you do any of these things that I'm listing to the Leviathan? No, he's too great. You can't compete with him. He's huge. The end. There's Job 41. Is that good? Nah, Job 41. Can you draw out Leviathan with a hook or snare its tongue with a line which you lower? Can you put a reed through his nose or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he make supplications to you? Will he speak softly to you? Will he make a covenant with you? Will you take him as a servant forever? Will you play with him as with a bird? Or will you leash him for your maidens? Will your companions make a banquet of him? Will they apportion him among the merchants? Can you fill his skin with harpoons? Or his head with fishing spears? Lay your hand on him. Remember the battle. Never do it again. Indeed, any hope of overcoming him is false. Shall one not be overwhelmed at the sight of him? No one is so fierce he would dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand against me? Who has preceded me that I should pay him? Everything under heaven is mine. I will not conceal his limbs, his mighty power, or his graceful proportions. Who can remove his outer coat? Who can approach him with a double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face with his terrible teeth all around? His rows of scales are his pride, shut up tightly as with a seal. One is so near another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together and cannot be parted. His sneezings flash forth light, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lights. Sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke goes out of his nostrils as from a boiling pot, and burning rushes. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth. Strength dwells in his neck, and sorrow dances before him. The folds of his flesh are joined together. They are firm on him and cannot be moved. His heart is as hard as stone, even as hard as the lower millstone. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. Because of his crashings, they are beside themselves. Though the sword reaches him, it cannot avail, nor does spear, dart, or javelin. He regards iron as straw, and bronze as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones become like stubble to him. Darts are regarded as straw. He laughs at the threats of javelins. His undersides are like shot potsherds. He spreads pointed marks in the mire. He makes the deep boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a pot of ointment. He leaves a shining wake behind him. One would think the deep had white hair. On earth there is nothing like him, which is made without fear. He beholds every high thing. He is king over all the children of pride. And that was God speaking. And then Job 42 is Job answering and saying, yes, I know you can do everything, and that no purpose of yours can be withheld from you. So that is the most in-depth version of a lot. Yes. And it's not a description as far as it's a comparison. God saying, can you do anything to this Leviathan to hurt him? No. And he's mine. Like, you know how much stronger and above him I am?
Speaking of that, yes, he talks about putting
fish hooks and lines. And it breathes fire. So it's a fire-breathing water serpent.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fire-breathing Nessie, dog.
In the Sefer HaAgada, the Talmud,
the Book of Knowledge or Book of Secrets,
Book of Legends.
Legends.
Yes.
Yeah, one of something.
We have. They taught that. So the Talmud. It's this aspect of the Talmud. A lot of it's folklore, and so like you can't say the Talmud says one thing in particular because it's a combination of what different rabbis said. But here's what this one Rabbi Judah said in the name of Rav. The day consists of 12 hours. The first 3, the Holy One, blessed be He, sits and occupies himself with Torah. So God is in his morning hours studying Torah, the law. Mm-hmm. The next
God
3
studies the Torah.
Yes. The next 3 he sits and issues judgments for the entire world. All of it.
Didn't he command humans to write it and what to write? How would he have to study it?
Because we're supposed to be perfect just as the Almighty in heaven is perfect. So
if
as
he's
above, so below.
Perfect, then he obviously already has it memorized.
This is just a thought. It's one of many thoughts about God that's existed.
I don't like this idea. It's like a paradox.
Okay, so he sits and issues judgment for the next few hours for the entire world, all of it. And when he sees that the world is so guilty as to deserve extermination, he rises from the throne of judgment and sits down on the throne of compassion. The next 3 hours, he sits and feeds the entire world, from the horned wild ox to lice. The final 3 hours, he sits and disports with the Leviathan, as it is said. There is the Leviathan whom thou hast formed to sport therewith. So this is saying that God in his heavenly domain played with the Leviathan.
What do you think he What do you think he played, Fetch?
Probably. But like I
What do
said,
you think he fetched?
that's one idea.
Hey, see it? Here, buddy. Here's Mars. Go catch it.
That's one idea. Mars. That's funny. Another one. Here's another idea of the Leviathan from the Talmud.
An opposing idea?
And God created great sea monsters. Genesis 1:21. Leviathan, bolt straight serpent, and a Leviathan, coiled serpent. So said Rabbi Yohanan. Rabbi Judah, that's Rabbi Jonathan, by the way. Rabbi Yohanan. Rabbi Judah said in the name of Rav, all that the Holy One created in his entire world, he created male and female. So too, the Leviathan, both straight serpent and Leviathan, coiled serpent. He created male and female, and if they had mated with each other, their numerous progeny would have destroyed the entire world, all of it. What did the Holy One do? He castrated the male and killed the female, preserving her in salt for the righteous in the world to come. Also, the behemoth, which daily eats up the grass of 1,000 hills. He created male and female, and if they had mated with each other, their numerous progeny would have destroyed the entire world, all of it. What did the Holy One do? He castrated the male and froze the female, preserving her for the righteous in the world to come. So we have this specific passage it's inspired by a few different ones. One of them is, so it speaks of God in past tense, killing the Leviathan in the Bible. You broke the heads of the Leviathan in pieces and gave him as food to the people inhabiting the wilderness. But then we also see in Isaiah, speaking of what I believe is to be future tense. Let me pull it up here. What are you doing over there, Toodles?
I'm listening to you and EQing you while we're going. Multitasking.
Yes. And then this is the future tense. And that day, Yahweh with his severe sword, great and strong, will punish the Leviathan, the fleeing serpent, Leviathan that twisted. And so this is where this Talmudic passage got the inspiration of there being two Leviathans. Rabbi Denis said in the name of Rabbi Jonathan, Gabriel will stage a hunt of the Leviathan. Gabriel the angel will hunt the Leviathan. And but for the Holy Ones helping him, he would be unable to prevail against it. Rabbi Dimi said in the name of Rabbi Yohanan, when Leviathan is hungry, it emits fiery breath from its mouth and brings all the waters of the deep to a boil. And but for the Leviathan sticking its head into the Garden of Eden, no creature could endure the stench of its breath. When the Leviathan is thirsty, it makes many furrows in the sea. Rabbah said in the name of Rabbi Yohanan, the Holy One, who will make a feast for the righteous out of the flesh of the Leviathan. So that's talking about in Isaiah. And what is left will be proportioned out and made available as merchandise in the marketplace of Jerusalem. Rabbah also said in the name of Rabbi Yohanan, the Holy One, will make a sukkah, which is a tent, for the righteous out of the Leviathan's skin. The Holy One will spread the rest of the Leviathan's skin over the walls of Jerusalem, and its radiance will shine bright, and from one end of the world to the other, as said, nations shall walk by the light, and kings will shine by thy radiance. So this is saying that the light from in the future Jerusalem will be created from the skin of the Leviathan.
Where's the skin now?
It's on the Leviathan.
Well, where is he? I thought he's dead.
Well, in this one Talmudic passage, it says that he freezes both the male one of the behemoths and one of the I was wondering where my vape went. One of the behemoths and one of the leviathans, and he's basically putting them in deep freeze to feed them to the people in the New Jerusalem.
Well, that's awful hard to do when they're feeding 2 of these people a day to the freaking lions. There's a lot of eating going on.
Well, in the end times, it'll be the people doing the eating of the monster. All right, makes me wonder if Leviathan is kosher, clean.
Ooh.
Does it have fin and scales?
It does have scales.
Okay, well, there's
Well,
your
it
answer
has
right there.
plates. They're called plates. Are those scales?
In Leviticus 11. Hey, how about in your Bible right over there? Pull up Leviticus 11.
Leviticus 11.
We're talking about creatures and critters and whatnot. Yeah. Leviticus 11 talks about clean and unclean foods.
Oh.
This is the.
I was like, ain't no Leviathans in here.
No. This is the dietary restrictions of young Peace growing up, young Isaiah growing up.
Dog. Okay, this is kind of tight.
My diet.
This is a lot. All right. It's a little text. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying to them, "Speak to the children of Israel, saying, These are the animals which you may eat among all the animals that are on the earth. Among the animals, whatever divides the hoof, having cloven hooves and chewing the cud, like a cow or a goat, that you may eat. Nevertheless, these you shall not eat among those that chew the cud, or those that have cloven hooves. The camel, because it chews the cud, but does not have cloven hooves. It is unclean to you. The rock hyrax, because it chews the cud, but does not have cloven hooves, is unclean to you. The hare, because it chews the cud, but does not have cloven hooves, is unclean to you." You can't eat rabbits?
Nope, no rabbits for me growing up.
No Haas and Pfeffer for you. Oh, man.
What is that?
It's like freaking, it's a rabbit dish. I think it's German or something.
Awesome, yeah. Awesome, Pfeffer.
And the swine, though it divides the hoof,
Oink, oink.
having cloven hooves, it does not chew the cud, is unclean to you. Young Isaiah could have no bacon.
Nope.
Their flesh.
Neither could I have marshmallows, because a lot of marshmallows have gelatin in them, which is made from pig hoof.
For real?
Yep.
Gelatin is made from pig hoof.
A lot of the time, yes.
What?
Yes, sir. Look it up.
I'll take your word for it. Their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcasses you shall not touch. They are unclean to you. These you may eat out of all that are in the water. Whatever is in the water has fins and scales, whether in the seas or in the rivers, that you may eat. But in all the seas and the rivers that do not have fins and scales, all that move in the water, and any living thing which is in the water, they are an abomination to you. So, catfish and crabs. They shall be an abomination to you. You shall not eat their flesh, but you shall regard their carcasses as an abomination. Whatever in the water does not have fins or scales, that shall be an abomination to you. And these you shall regard as an abomination among the birds. They shall not be eaten, they are an abomination. The eagle, the vulture, and the buzzard, the kite and the falcon after its kind, every raven after its kind, the ostrich, the short-eared owl, the seagull, and the hawk after its kind, the little owl, the fisher owl, and the screech owl, the white owl, the jackdaw. What is a jackdaw?
I'm not sure. Clearly a bird, though.
Jackdaw. And the carrion vulture. The
Usually
stork.
all these unclean ones, they're birds of prey.
Yes, I was just going to say that. The heron after its kind, the hoopoe, and the bat. Is
Bat's not a bird, but
raven a predator?
yes. I believe it mentions ravens at the beginning.
It did.
Yeah.
But that doesn't eat meat, does it?
They sometimes.
All
Scavenger.
And then we get to insects, in case you were just dying to eat up these bugs. All flying insects that creep on all fours shall be an abomination to you. All fours? Mm-hmm. All sixes? All eights? All fours. Yeah, these you may eat of every flying insect that creeps on all fours, those which have jointed legs above their feet,
Grasshoppers,
with which
locusts.
leap on the earth.
Crickets.
Crickets. these you may eat: the locust after its kind, the destroying locust after its kind, the cricket and its kind, and the grasshopper and its kind. But all other flying insects which have 4 feet shall be an abomination to you.
We have John the Baptist and Elijah, who both lived on a diet of honey and locusts.
Unclean animals. By these you shall become unclean. Whoever touches the carcasses of any of them shall be unclean until evening. Whoever carries part of the carcass of any... Okay, yes. The carcass of any animal that divides the foot, but is not cloven-hoofed, or does not chew the cud, like they said. Whatever goes on its paws, among all kinds of animals that go on all fours, those are unclean to you. Oh man, the dogs are unclean. The little puppies. You puppy. Okay. Whoever touches any such carcass shall be unclean. And among those that creep on the earth, the mole, the mouse, the large lizard after its kind, the gecko, the monitor lizard, the sand reptile, the sand lizard, and the chameleon. These are unclean to you.
One time we were in a Bible study together, and there was somebody new. This is back in my Messianic days. But we were in a Bible study, and we were reading Leviticus 11, and when it got to the part about 4-legged animals who don't have hooves, this one kid was like, I can't eat bear. And he was like legitimately shocked and sad.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Can't eat bears or dogs.
Sorry, never mind. If they die, it's unclean. Whether it is any item of wood or clothing or skin or sack, whatever item it is, in which any work is done, it must be put in water. Talking about if it touches the carcass, and it shall be unclean until evening, then it shall be clean. Any earthen vessel into which any of them falls, you shall break, and whatever is in it shall be unclean. In such vessel, any edible food upon which water falls becomes unclean, and any drink that may be drunk becomes unclean. And everything on which part of any such carcass falls shall be unclean. Whether it's an oven, cooking stove, it shall be broken down, for they're unclean. Nevertheless, a spring or a cistern in which there is plenty of water shall be clean, but whatever touches any such carcass becomes unclean. And if part of any such carcass falls on any planting seed which is to be sown, it remains clean. But if water is put on the seed, and if any part of such carcass falls on it, it becomes unclean. And if any animal which you may eat dies, he who touches its carcass will be unclean. He who eats of the carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. He who also carries the carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean till evening. Every creeping thing that creeps on the earth shall be an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatever crawls on its belly, goes on all fours, has many feet among all the creepy things that creep on the earth. So we're talking crawls on its belly. We're talking snakes, all fours. We're talking lizards. We're talking many legs. So like
rats.
What the frick are those? Centipedes and millipedes. You shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creeps, nor shall make yourself unclean with them, lest you be defiled by them. For I am the Lord your God. You shall therefore consecrate yourselves, and you shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall you defile yourselves with any creeping thing that creeps on the earth. For I am the Lord who brings you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God. You shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the animals and the birds, and every living creature that moves in the waters, and every creature that creeps on the earth, to distinguish between the unclean and the clean, and between the animals that may be eaten and the animals that may not be eaten.
Got any questions about that?
I mean, sounds kind of like a deer and cow and tuna fish only kind of diet to me.
Oh, yeah, I can eat. You could eat bluegill, bass.
Well, yeah, I mean,
scales. You know,
a lot of stuff with scales: bluegill, bass, perch, pike, muskie.
No rabbits. No rabbit stew.
Yeah, that one's weird to me.
What was that dish you mentioned?
Freaking Hassenpfeffer.
Hassenpfeffer. Who taught you that dish?
Can't.
Was that your grandma? Old German dish?
I don't remember where I would have learned it from. I remember it was on an episode of Looney Tunes when I was little.
Did you ever have it?
I don't think so. I'm German, though, so I gotta know about it.
So we have Behemoth. Do you want to read the passage about Behemoth?
I'm not sure where that one is. Where is that?
It's also in Job.
That's in Job too?
Yes. I believe that's the only time that Behemoth is mentioned. Is the one.
Ask your AI if Behemoth is mentioned anywhere else.
In the Bible, besides Job?
Yeah, wasn't it something in like Psalms or Proverbs? Also, where is the Behemoth in Job?
It's just in Job. It's in Job.
Towards the end?
It's in Job 40.
Look now at the behemoth which I made along with you. He eats grass like an ox. See now, his strength is in his hips, and his power is in the stomach muscles. He moves his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his thighs are tightly knit. His bones are like beams of bronze. His ribs are like bars of iron. He is the first of the... What's that mean? He is the first of the ways of God. Only he who made him can bring near his sword.
He's a very ancient creature, I think is what it's saying.
Surely the mountains yield food for him, and all the beasts of the field play there. He lies under the lotus tree, in a covert of reeds and marsh. The lotus trees cover him with their shade. The willows by the brook surround him. Indeed, the river may rage, yet he is not disturbed. He's confident, though the Jordan gushes into his mouth, though he takes it in his eyes, or one pierces his nose with a snare. The end. And then it goes straight into that to where we started with, can you draw out Leviathan with a hook? That's the next thing. So Behemoth and Leviathan are right there.
Right there beside each other.
The Behemoth is this marsh-dwelling creature with a mouth that sucks in all the waters of the Jordan and just sits there, and nobody messes with him.
Oh, by the way, there's this other story in the Talmud, back to the Leviathan. It talks about when Rabbi saw him at night when he was on a ship he had like eyes that beamed like a light from underneath the water. Makes me almost think of some 1,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Captain Nemo type ancient alien stuff.
Yeah, you notice a bunch of these old 1700s maps and stuff that we find. You can find different pictures of them. One that comes to mind is this Piri Reis map, and there's a bunch of others. I have it. Dude, I got a list actually of maps. I got kind of obsessed for a couple days.
Maybe all these
and
giant...
They all have these drawings of these tentacled sea creatures. Mm-hmm. Always, every time. Like in the big ocean area when there's no islands, they'll draw like a sea monster in it. Or one will be like weaving its little tentacles around the perimeter of the map, stuff like that. I was like, where does this all come from? These are map makers, not freaking fictional story writers. Like, come on. Unless they just felt artistic and wanted to make their maps pretty.
Well, it's like the unknown, the darker outer inhabitants. It's like always believed to be inhabited with monsters and strange creatures. It's the scary lore of what exists outside of the city walls, outside of the known territory. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, we have. But yeah, we have this with the Behemoth in the Talmud. Mine is the Behemoth upon 1,000 hills. I, says God, have a unique creature whom I made for your subsistence in time to come. It is the Behemoth, couched on 1,000 mountains, and these 1,000 mountains will provide it with all kinds of herbs and all kinds of other victuals to eat. How does it drink? Some say its head is opposite of the mouth of the Jordan, with its mouth directly against the river, so that the Jordan pours into its mouth, and thus it drinks waters. Some say it swallows in a single draught all the water that the Jordan gathers up in 6 months. Hey, what is the passage in Ezekiel that is believed to be referring to Lilith, that refers to the Lilitu?
Ezekiel 10.
So actually, Lilith or the Lilitu isn't directly mentioned in the book of Ezekiel.
The figure of Lilith comes up more explicitly in Isaiah 34:14, where the word Lilith is used in some translations. Sometimes people might draw connections between the Lilith and certain themes in Ezekiel, like the idea of desolate places or creatures that...
Oh, damn it, my phone died.
Poor guy.
So, what's the passage you have brought up?
For what?
You were referring to one in Ezekiel.
On further investigation, that has the cherubim. My bad.
Oh.
Wrong creature.
I believe it. So the passage that it was going to refer to in Isaiah, it talks about this place outside of the kingdom where, like, the owl, the jackal, and one of the creatures that is there is Lilitu. It's often, I think it's translated as bird, but the word there is Lilitu, which is where we get our word Lilith from. Yeah. To where in the more ancient Mesopotamian culture, Lilith wasn't a singular spirit, but that was like the name. The Lilitu was the spirits of the night that the Mesopotamians feared. Later on in Jewish folklore, it became more localized and where it was the specific demon angel, Lilith. In case you haven't, in case you don't know who Lilith is, we've mentioned her in quite a few episodes in time past, but she's the first wife of Adam. First wife of Adam. Adam and her are gonna have sex. She wants to be on top. He doesn't want her to be on top.
If somebody's listening to this story for the first time, they're gonna be like, "What?
It's
What
unnatural.
are they saying?"
Adam believes it's unnatural. Yeah,
we've covered this before. If you're just tuning in, so that's
she
why
runs
we're
away.
just passing through
She
it.
curses God and runs away, and she gets destined to become a sexual demon of the night that haunts men in their wet dreams and
Tries to take their semen to have demonic babies.
Yes.
And meanwhile, God saw that Adam was lonely, and he's like, "Oh man, I'll make you a new wife, a better one. Here's Eve. Give me one of your ribs. I need something."
Yes.
And he makes Eve.
Yes. And the thought with her coming from his rib is that, okay, so like Lilith believed that she could be on top in sex because they are both made from the dust of the earth, making them equals. And so God made her out of Adam's rib to avoid that problem. But obviously that's not my opinion. That's not my opinion. Calm down, ladies.
What's your opinion?
My opinion is that we're equal.
Take some arrows for our podcast. Make somebody mad.
Make somebody mad.
Make somebody say, "You narrow-minded, uneducated, uncultured swine."
I think they're going to say that. I have pretty
no, we got good listeners,
views of
man.
like women and the role they play in society.
Shout out to Jacob if he's still listening to us.
They can do whatever they want, honestly. You know?
Is that all you got on Behemoth?
That's all I have on the Behemoth.
What you want to do next?
What are we at on time?
An hour and like 12.
You have something? It looks like you have something. And
I was going to the Cherubim verses.
okay, yeah, go ahead. And then we'll cover Cherubim, talk about those a little bit, and then we'll call it a...
No, we got more after that.
All right.
Cherubim seem to be guardian angels, guarders. They protect places. The first time you hear about it is in Genesis 3. There's a cherubim. That is the angel with the flaming sword that's placed at the entrance to the garden after Adam and Eve are kicked out because they were rebellious and ate the fruit that God told them not to eat. So to keep them from getting back into the garden after they were cast out,
cherubim.
God, puts a cherubim there with a flaming sword to protect it. The only other place that I know of a cherubim is in Ezekiel, and I had to use my chat GPT to help me find where. But in Ezekiel 10, the glory of God departs from the temple. And I looked, and there in the firmament there was above the head of the cherubim there appeared something like a sapphire stone, having the appearance and likeness of a throne. Then he spoke to the man clothed with linen, and said, "Go in among the wheels under the cherub. Fill your hands with coals of fire among the cherubim, and scatter them over the city." And he went in as I watched. Now the cherubim were standing on the south side of the temple where the man went in, and the cloud filled the inner court. Then the glory of the Lord went up from the cherub and passed over the threshold of the temple, and the house was filled with the cloud, and the court was full of the brightness of the Lord's glory. And the sound of the wings of the cherubim was heard even in the outer courts, like the voice of Almighty God when he speaks. Then it happened when he commanded the man in the linen, saying, Take fire from among the wheels, from among the cherubim, that he went in and stood beside the wheels, and the cherub stretched out his hand from among the cherubim to the fire that was among the cherubim, and took some of it and put it into the hands of the man clothed with linen, who took it and went out. The cherubim appeared to have the form of a man's hand under their wings. This is in the middle of a vision that he's seeing of this like gigantic wheeled thing that people have speculated what it is for years that we probably should not get into, but it's a pretty cool thing to read. When I looked, there were 4 wheels by the cherubim, 1 wheel by one cherub and another wheel by each other cherub, and the wheels appeared to have color of a beryl stone. As for the appearance, all 4 looked alike, as it were, a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went towards any of the 4 directions. They did not turn aside when they went, but followed the direction the head was facing. They did not turn aside when they went, and their whole body, with their back, their hands, their wings, and the wheels, and the 4.
I love Ezekiel's attention to detail all throughout this book, honestly. Like at the end when he's giving all the dimensions of the temple.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I feel like he wrote it like how I would write it. Like, somebody's not going to understand this.
Right now, this gives me the impression of an OCD man who is on a psychedelic macaroni trip.
We still don't get it in its entirety. I don't think it's impossible to know what he's talking about. Some people have speculated, he's seeing a helicopter that time traveled from the future.
Or a spaceship. Interdimensional spaceship.
They didn't turn aside when they went, and their whole body, with their back, their hands, their wings, and the wheels that the 4 had, were full of eyes all around. As for the wheels, they were called in my hearing wheel. Each one had 4 faces. The face was the face of a cherub. We're supposed to know what that means. The second face, the face of a man. The third, the face of a lion. And the fourth, the face of an eagle. And the cherubim were lifted up. This was the living creature I saw by the river Shabar. When the cherubim went, the wheels went beside them. And when the cherubim lifted their wings to mount up from the earth, the same wheels also did not turn from beside them. When the cherubim stood still, the wheels stood still. And when one was lifted up, the other lifted itself up, for the spirit of the living creatures was in them, in the wheels. Then the glory of the Lord departed from the threshold of the temple and stood over the cherubim, and the cherubim lifted their wings and mounted up from the earth in my sight. When they went out, the wheels were beside them, and they stood at the door of the east gate of the Lord's house, and the glory of the God of Israel was above them. This is the living creature I saw under the God of Israel by the river Shabar, and I knew that they were cherubim. Each one had 4 faces, and each one 4 wings, and the likeness of the hands of a man was under their wings, and the likeness of their faces was the same as the faces which I had seen by the river Shabar, their appearance and their persons. They each went straight forward. There's some head scratchers for you.
Forward.
So this is literally in the middle of probably the most popular prophecy or vision that anybody ever reads in the Bible, except for like John on Patmos himself in Revelation,
or maybe Ezekiel with the Valley of Dry Bones.
That's
a pretty popular one.
Daniel, it's one. You got to read this thing. We're just kind of picking the cherubim part out of the middle of it.
Can you pull up the at the beginning of the book of Isaiah? It mentions God, His presence, and
the glory of God filled the temple.
Yes.
The train of His robe filled the temple.
Yes, yes.
I told you, man. I know a little bit or two.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Now, where does it say? I remember it starts in the year that King Uzziah died, or something like that. You know what chapter it is?
Can you pause it real quick?
No.
Please. Jonathan.
In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne. There's a worship song that quotes this very well, and it's one of the most beautiful songs.
In the year that King Uzziah died. Does it go like that?
No. But it's like a really obscure song, man. You gotta be
What
like
is it? What is
deep
it
in
quoting?
the weeds.
What is it?
Isaiah 6. It's got a whole bunch of little pieces picked out and quoted from it.
Interesting.
In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above it stood Seraphim. Whoops, that's not cherubim anymore. Each one had 6 wings instead of 4 like the cherubim. These must be the superior ones. Each one had 6 wings.
A seraphim is believed to be a winged serpent of some sort.
With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew.
Okay,
And one cried to the other and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
All right, so in this passage, the train of his robe, I wish my phone hadn't died for this part. I believe the Hebrew robe, or the Hebrew word for the train of his garment there is shul, which is basically, it's just a word to describe something hanging below the waist.
Zeets.
No, not necessarily. Something else hanging below the waist.
Aw.
Yes. So there are cases where the word shul is used, and I hope that is the word. I know that the word used there for the train of the garments is a word that is also used to describe genitalia,
Don't tell me
private parts.
that.
Okay, so in the book of Ezekiel,
Gosh.
there's this passage where Israel and Judea, they're being acquainted to like a young maiden, who she went astray, and it mentions her being ravaged and raped, and which basically it's about the nations conquering Israel. Okay, so in the context of that, talking about like her private parts being exposed, the word there is shul. So a different image that a lot of scholars have created from this. Not the train of his garment hanging down into the temple, but something
we get
else.
it. We get
And
it.
with the seraphim, their wings
Unfortunately.
covering their feet, many times in the Bible, it's said, it's believed, it's speculated that feet is a euphemism for genitalia. So when the seraphim were covering
Their feet,
they were covering because their genitalia was unworthy to be seen before the mighty.
Well. The posts of the door were shaken by the voice of him who cried out, which was the seraphim, and the house was filled with smoke. And then Isaiah's like all stressed and stuff. He's like, oh, he's overwhelmed by what he sees. And that's the rest of it.
Now we know why he was overwhelmed, perhaps.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's read what he said with that context and see if it makes sense. So I said, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of people with unclean lips.
And that's when the seraphim comes in.
For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Oh, hey, yeah. Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a live coal, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. And he touched my mouth with it and said, Behold, this has touched your lips. Your iniquity is taken away, and your sin is purged. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And then I said, Here I am, send me. And he said, Go, and tell this people. Keep on hearing, but do not understand. Keep on seeing, but do not perceive. Make the heart of this people dull, and their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and I return and be healed. Then I said, Lord, how long? And he answered, How long? Until the cities are laid waste and without inhabitant, the houses are without a man, the land is utterly desolate, the Lord has removed men far away, and the forsaken places are many in the midst of the land. But yet a tenth will be in it, and will return, and be for consuming, as a terebinth tree, or as an oak, whose stump remains when it is cut down, so the holy seed shall be its stump. Then it goes on to a different time period in King Ahaz.
Interesting. So, we have Seraphim here. We have Cherubim in the other one. The Cherubim, the function that they seem to play throughout the Old Testament is in a lot of ways, they're like guardians. They're like God's muscle to where...
Yeah, we both said that, but there's only one example of that, because in one in Ezekiel, they're just kind of there praising God.
They overlook
but the one in Genesis specifically was guarding the garden.
Then they overlooked the ark as well.
Yep, cast in gold, 2 cherubim with their wings stretched out over the top in the middle, and the presence of God rests in the middle of them.
Next, can we cover the venomous serpents that attack the children of Israel in the wilderness, and then the bronze serpent made to counteract those bites?
Isn't that with Moses and Aaron?
Yes.
When they had that pole that turned into a snake?
Yes. I believe that is in Genesis, or Numbers 14-ish, around there. 16, perhaps. I'm raw dogging it right now. We're going off from pure Bible memory because my notes have disappeared from before me. What was is no more, other than what is in my mind, because my phone has died. Alas, my phone has fallen. It is no more. Let the mothers weep. Let the children cry. Let the screen remain desolate, for the phone is dead. Did you find the passage?
I'm looking for it.
It's gonna be, but it's certainly, definitely gonna be between Numbers 10 and Numbers 20. If you want to toss me that other Bible. Actually, I will keep you all entertained while he's flipping, because we don't need silence. So we've covered dragons.
Is it the budding of Aaron's rod?
I don't think so. Google, just in your Bible app, do bronze serpent. So far we've covered dragons. We also have a dragon in the book of Revelation. In the book of Revelation, I believe it's Revelation 11. We have this dragon mentioned. Let me tell you about this dragon. Keep either going too far or too far. I go all the way to the end.
I am consulting AI for this.
All right, go ahead. I will keep the folks entertained.
There is a dragon in Revelation we haven't covered.
That's what I'm about to do.
Revelation 12.
I thought it was 11.
Oh, and that Ezekiel passage with those 4 creatures. That's also in Revelation 4.
Then I saw a great and mysterious sight. In the sky, there was a woman whose dress was the sun, and who had the moon under her feet, and had a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was soon to give birth, and the pains of the suffering of the childbirth made her cry out. Another mysterious sight appeared in the sky. There was a huge red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, and a crown on each head. With his tail he dragged a third of the stars out of the sky and threw them down to the earth. He stood in front of the woman in order to eat her child as soon as it was born. She gave birth to a son who will rule over all nations with an iron rod. But the child was snatched away and taken to God and his throne. And the woman fled to the desert, to a place God had prepared for her in the desert, where she will be taken care of for 1,260 days. Then war broke out into heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and who fought back with his angels. But the dragon was defeated, and he and his angels were not allowed to stay in heaven any longer. And the huge dragon was thrown out, that ancient serpent named the devil, or Satan, that deceived the whole world. He was thrown down to earth, and all his angels with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, "Now God's salvation has come. Now God has shown his power as king. Now his Messiah has shown his authority. For the one who stood before our God and accused believers day and night has been thrown out of heaven. They won victory over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the truth which they proclaimed, and they were willing to give up their lives and die. And so be glad, you heavens, and all you who live there. But how terrible for the earth and the sea, for the devil has been cast down to you. He is filled with rage because he knows that he is only but a little short time there." Then the dragon realized that he had been thrown down to earth. He began to pursue the woman who had given birth to the boy. She was given 2 wings of a large eagle in order to fly her to a place in the desert where she will be taken care of for 3.5 years, safe from the dragon's attack. And then, from his mouth, the dragon poured out a flood of water after the woman, so that it would carry her away. But the earth helped the woman, and it opened up its mouth and swallowed the water that came from the dragon's mouth. And the dragon was furious with the woman and went off to fight against the rest of her descendants. All those who obey God's commandments and are faithful to the truth revealed by Jesus. And the dragon stood on the seashore.
I can't find the serpents.
Really?
Not poisonous ones, anyway.
Interesting. Did you find the bronze serpent?
No, but I found some serpents.
Go ahead and do that.
In Exodus 7, the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "When Pharaoh speaks to you," because they're supposed to go up and talk to him, "show a miracle for yourselves. Take your rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent." So they did, and it happened. Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Pharaoh called the wise men and the sorcerers and the magicians of Egypt, and they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For every man threw down his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods, and Pharaoh's heart grew hard, and he did not heed them, like the idiot he is, as the Lord had said. So that's where Moses and Aaron were trying to get Pharaoh to let the people escape from Egypt. He said no, even though they performed this miracle with the staff turning into snakes. And he still hardened his heart. So then after that, the plagues start coming.
Okay, I found it. Then the Canaanite king of Arad, in the southern part of Canaan, heard that the Israelites were coming by the way of Othraim. He attacked them and captured some of them. Then the Israelites made a vow to Yahweh, "If you let us conquer these people, we will unconditionally dedicate them and their cities to you, and will destroy them." And Yahweh heard them and helped them conquer the Canaanites. So the Israelites completely destroyed them and their cities, and named the place Hormah. Then the Israelites left Mount Hor by the road that leads to the Gulf of Aqaba in order to go around the territory of Edom. But on the way, the people lost their patience and spoke against God, and they complained, "Why did you bring us out of Egypt to die in this desert, where there is no food or water? We can't stand any more of this miserable food." Then Yahweh sent poisonous snakes among them, and many Israelites were bitten and died. And then the people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned. We spoke against Yahweh and against you. Now pray to Yahweh to take these snakes away." So Moses prayed for the people. Then Yahweh told Moses to take a metal snake and put it on a pole so that anyone who was bitten could look at it and be healed. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it on a pole. Anyone who had been bitten would look at the bronze snake and be healed. Almost sounds like borderline idolatry. in the terms of other rules given in the Torah, in the Old Testament laws, and then they look at it and they're healed from the venomous bites. Okay, so I believe the word for venomous there, I did have it in my notes, is winged. So this is talking about winged serpents, which in other places is described as seraphim attacking the children of Israel in the desert. And then Moses has Aaron create a bronze snake, a snake of metal, which is in a lot of ways in contradiction to like the first and second of the Ten Commandments. And they look at this and they are healed from the bites of the winged serpents.
Yeah, isn't there a logo for some kind of health?
Yeah, well, the Hermes held a staff with a snake on it, and many esoteric cultures of mysticism, and in alchemy, the snake on the pole. Yes, it's always been a symbol of healing. The snake on the pole. So, and it most likely is something that originates from outside of the Israelite culture that they were adapting and applying to their own story and their own narrative.
World Health Organization.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a symbol, yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Serpientes.
So, those are some strange creatures of the biblical sort. Do you have any more strange creatures you'd like to cover, Jonathan? Toodles. Perhaps Nate Visen. Maybe, possibly.
In Numbers 23:22 and Deuteronomy 33:17, there's a Hebrew word used that's called rayem, sometimes translated as unicorn in older Bible versions, likely referring to a wild ox or a powerful horned animal.
But in the King James Version, it was unicorn in many King James versions. What does it say that in the little Bible you have there?
Numbers 23:22.
I'll pull it up in mine too. Probably won't say unicorn in the Catholic. I cannot pronounce my words today. Catholic Rainbow Study Bible. This one's been a little less organized than usual, a little bit all over the place, but I hope we've kept you entertained.
Balaam's first prophecy.
Probably kept you entertained with my lack of being able to pronounce words and get them
Talking about God. He has not observed iniquity in Jacob, nor has he seen wickedness in Israel. The Lord his God is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. God brings him out of Egypt. He has strength like a wild ox. Or unicorn. So that's a little weak, I think. The other one's Deuteronomy 33.
There's another one where it talks about the bulls of Bashan.
This might be a dead end.
And it mentions the unicorns of Bashan. I believe it's the New King. Do you have a King James Bible anywhere around your house?
Yeah, somewhere. I do. It's in a box.
Gotta put our Indiana Jones
study Bible. Used to
it.
be my daily reader. Then we moved. I don't know where I put it. It's in a box somewhere. His glory is like a firstborn bull, and his horns are like the horns of a wild ox, or unicorn. Together with them he shall push the peoples to the ends of the earth. Mm-hmm. So yes,
we have this rant. We have this the goat and Daniel with the one horn. The one-horned goat.
Yeah, it makes you think of a unicorn, doesn't it?
Think of a unicorn, yeah. I'm surprised it's not called unicorn there. So, what are we at on time?
1 hour, 39 minutes. Well, I think that's plenty to...
I'd say so.
Maybe we could come back with a part 2 with some more obscure things.
I think so.
Maybe do a little shorty or something. Or maybe we'll just have enough for a whole one. Or we could just do strange creatures in general. Do some like cryptids and some Mothman and...
Did you think I was going to be not more than just the biblical ones today?
No, I didn't. I just didn't think we'd be going so far with the biblical ones. Kind of fun.
Okay. I thought maybe you thought that at the beginning.
No, I'm saying if we find some more biblical ones, we'll make this have a part 2. Or if we, get enough of the strange stuff like cryptids and chupacabras and Bigfoots and stuff, we could do a whole we could do multiple episodes on like those things. There's so much lore, so much information about them.
We should do monster folklore based on location, like Michigan Dogman, New Jersey Devil, Chupacabra.
Dude, when I was way too young to watch it, I saw an episode of Lost Tapes, which totally like fictional bullcrap about like these lost tapes being recovered from people that, they die somehow or get captured, and they watch this tape and it's like WTF. So Lost Tapes, they had an episode on the Jersey Devil, and I was probably like 10 when I saw it.
Oh yeah.
And it scarred me for life. It made me scared of the dark.
So I remember seeing on the History Channel a documentary about the New Jersey Devil.
That one and Cave Demons was another one that was scary.
I saw this, and then I had to go outside and do something outside, some sort of farm work in the dark. I forgot to like put a cow in or something. I don't know. It was something along those lines. And I had just seen that, and I remember telling myself, okay, Isaiah, you've done this 1,000 times. You don't know anyone that's been attacked by the New Jersey Devil, and you've never been, and so you're not gonna just because you saw that. And ever since then, ever since I saw something scary on a movie, it's always kept me from like, I'm just like, it's not gonna happen just because I saw it in a movie.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
If you like actually get scared by them,
I don't.
Something to tell yourself.
I don't.
Remember one time, me and Zach, back when he was living out here on that lake,
Over by the Amigo Center.
we were gonna watch a movie to try to scare you.
Yep.
So we watched
Insidious
and
all
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
And rather than you getting scared, you and me watched it, and I was
Zach
like
got-
you looked bored, and Zach was
Got scared.
he's like freaking out at every little jump scare. The suspense, dude, the suspense moments. He's like sitting there, his legs are shaking. He's like leaning forward, looking at it.
I used cognitive behavioral therapy when I was just a kid in my narrative, and that's just it made me numb from getting scared by monsters. Apparently,
Well,
things that go bump in the night.
monsters, man. I think we've covered them good and gave them some justice. So with that, I think it's time we get into our final segment.
All right, it's time to listen up.
Listen up!
Listen up, where
All right.
we share our musical interests and suggestions
Yes, sir.
with you, our dear fellow strangers.
So, what are you thinking in terms of music this week, Jonathan?
Well, I've been listening to some older... Some people out there that's going to be like, that ain't old.
Oh, the 90s rap.
The 90s rap and hip-hop scene. A little bit of, that early Tech 9 and some Run DMC and
Hell yeah.
a little bit of Dr. Dre, some Chronic, some 2001, a little bit of Outkast, that Cadillac Southern, what the frick's it called?
Cadillac.
Playlistic Cadillac music or something.
I don't know.
It's their first album.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit of that older stuff.
Hell yeah.
Early old Snoop Dogg, just because rap's my favorite, and you hear all these references to old greats, and it's like,
You gotta,
I was a little young. I was born in 95, so I didn't really get to hear the height of like the.
it's your pilgrimage as a rapper.
I know. I was like young though. I was late coming to the party because my introduction to rap was Eminem.
It's like a
And
bat
then I went
mitzvah,
from there,
bar
and
mitzvah.
obviously I went down that route of like Eminem-esque rappers, 50 and Dre and Snoop, and that was about
50.
it. I didn't listen to like the OGs like Tupac and Biggie and all those. And so yeah, I'm
Familiarize
trying.
yourself
I'm
with
filling in
Biggie.
all the blanks right now. Kind of enjoying it. It's fun.
Hell yeah.
What you got?
I'd say, since we're talking about 90s rap, Ghetto Gospel by Tupac and Elton John. And then Run the Jewels, that's the rap group. Their songs, Talk to Me, Legend Has It, Delete, 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 Ground Below. All good songs to check out.
And then check out Grandpa Jones. Old, probably sang around the 60s or so, old clawhammer style bluegrass banjo picking, singing old yeehaw moonshiner out in the mountains of the Appalachians.
And while you're at that, look up Hobo Johnson and check out his song "Move Her Away" or "Romeo and Juliet" by Hobo Johnson. So, got anything else to add to that, Toodles?
Lost and Trust by NF, the songs that have Hobson and Tech 9.
All right.
Check them out.
Ball Breaker by Prof. Look at all this rap today that I'm suggesting, Jonathan.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Nate Visen would be proud.
Yes.
If he was here.
Well, hey, how about we're going to do...
Nate Visen, yeah, I think his song, Lights Go Out, will be released by now on Halloween. So check out Lights Go Out by Nate Visen. Music video coming eventually.
Yes. And follow us on Facebook. Like and subscribe here on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to us.
Leave a comment.
Yes, do all the good tidings unto us, your fellow strangers, in this strange land. All right. So until next time, let's keep traversing this strange world with inquisitiveness and
curiosity,
and also
a little bit
of swag nuzzled in there, sprinkled on the top just to make everything go more smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And let's remember to crush monsters, both internally and externally. The monsters that pop out of the snowballs that we dissect in life.
Popular monster falling in reverse. That's my last suggestion for a song.
The monsters that haunt us and our fathers.
I lied. How about Monster by Skillet?
The monsters of Vice.
6 or 9.
The monsters of...
The Monster by Eminem and Rihanna.
Recycled toxicity.
Bunch of songs with monsters.
Yeah.
Well, until next time.
A little bit of inspiration in there as well. Until next time. Let's remember to be neighborly. Because at the end of the day, we're all just strangers in a strange land. Until next time, peace.
Toodles. That's me.
That's him.
If you would like to contact us, email us at peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Until next time, salutations, my fellow strangers.
What will they think of next?